Who needs enemies whenever you have friends like Scalper Chris? And let me explain. Right, last week or later last last week I went ahead and made a video talking about Tag's new update, and I'm sure outside from you guys seeing it in this channel, you guys have been seeing it everywhere, from Instagram, from TikTok, from YouTube to Reddit to X. Doesn't matter. If you're in the Pokemon hobby, if you're in the grading hobby, you're seeing it everywhere. Where Tag went ahead and mentioned that they're increasing their numbers, the grading submission increasing in popularity, so they have to do a couple things. But they went ahead and suspended the regular and the standard grading, and this is as well on top of them also suspending the bulk grading. Now, so if they already went ahead and suspended the three cheapest grading things, the three cheapest grading options that they have, and we covered about it, and then we talked about, well, if you guys can't really grade through that, maybe it's time for you guys to source cards. Now, I went to work today, super cool, like, okay, it shouldn't be a long day, but I was in a good mood. I got to work, clocked in, cased my route, loaded my truck, fought with my supervisor, and then right before I was leaving, I had Scalper Chris yell at me, right? He was like telling me, he's like, hey, if Tag starts doing an upcharge, are you going to still support him? And I have to look him straight in the eye, and I'm like, no, I wouldn't. Like, being honest, like, I'm being 100% transparent too, right? I'm being 100% honest. If they did an upcharge on their grading, I wouldn't support them. Absolutely not. This is something that I bash PSA. I think it's a stupid business practice. So why, if Tag, the one that I support, if they were to do it, would I support them? Absolutely not, right? And then, I countered it as like, no, I wouldn't support it, but I don't think they would ever really do that, right? And I'm like, if the upcharge is just really used for insurances purposes, right, which is a whole entire debacle, Tag doesn't really have the authority or the right to do that whenever they go into remote grading. If we're being completely honest, why would they upcharge you for putting your card in plastic? But this is down the road, even if we get to that point, right? And then he followed it up like, dude, you gotta understand, like, Tag is just like any other company. They don't care about you, they care about your money, right? And then it hit me, right? Like, I was shocked, like, so does your wife, Chris, right? She's at home. She doesn't care about you. She just cares about how much money you bring every single or bi-weekly, right? And I stormed out. No, not really, but we do have that friendly banter. And on top of that, I was also like thinking about some of the comments that other people have posted on the videos. Like, whenever you guys do comment on the videos, I do read them. I do try to reply to most of them. I'll be honest, if you guys are giving me an essay, I don't got the time. I don't got the energy. I might have the time, I don't have the energy, and it's just like, your guys' point has to be clear. It's not like my points in this video are clear, but your guys' points have to be clear in order for me to like either argue, agree with you, comment with you, and just like carry that banter that the social media space does provide. But there was a couple of comments that really stood out to me that made me think a little bit more. Like, the first one is by Old Man Ketchum. Obviously, this guy's gonna be probably another content creator or collector. I mean, he does have a derpy Pikachu as his icon, and Old Man Ketchum, that's clearly a Pokemon name, right? Every single PokeTuber has to have a Pokemon related name. They can't be original, like, hey, it's just so and so. I don't know. I think that's pretty creative, but that's just me, right? He commented, paused during no PSA May. Not smart. I was actually looking to submit some cards to Tag just to say peace to PSA. I guess I'll go with CGC. And I actually, talked to him a little bit, or not talked to him, but like, we exchanged a little banter. But here's the thing, like, right now, yes, there is a boycott for no PSA May. Now, I'm not really sure how influential this boycott is going to be, how much is really going to matter, because I'm telling you, PSA, whenever they release their grading submissions or their grading numbers, they're not releasing the numbers of how many people entered to submit their cards. They're doing about how many cards they're grading. And right now they're working through a backlog. So that information is not going to be available till probably, I guess, like 5 months, 6 months from now. So if we're in May, we're probably looking already at the holiday season during November and December. But like, half the year by now is whenever, I guess, no PSA May, would the numbers kind of be accurate for how many cards they grade during that month. So I don't think, look, I'll be honest, I think the no PSA May is kind of dumb. I think it's really not going to do anything. And like, I get it. Like, it has to be more than just no PSA May. It has to be no PSA May, June, July, August, September, October. Like, it has to be no more PSA. You guys can't just vote with your wallet for 1 month. It has to be sustainable. It has to be a long term until we start seeing PSA having to do deals, discounts for grading, so we can see if it's really affecting it. But for 1 month, no, it has to be a boycott from now on till the end of the year so we can really see. But, they do have a lot of support. They do. Like, they do have a lot of GameStops around that. A lot of people, new collectors, are going to be entering this hobby, and they're going to be grading with PSA going forward or starting off. Everyone's going to do a PSA submission. I never did, but, most people who are really into the Pokemon hobby and they enter it really, really hot will probably do it. But by the time that they get the submissions back, they might be done with the hobby. Not a lot of people who enter the hobby stay here for more than like a year. Some people don't even stay here for more than half a year. But he's going to go with CGC, or he's going to grade with CGC. Now, I'm not going to tell him how to use his money, right? If he has his emergency fund, if he's out of debt and he wants to go ahead and grade his PC cards with CGC, he has every single right to do so. Yes, it's another subjective company. My advice, maybe look to another AI company, grade through them, whether if it's ACE, whether if it's Degree, and try to get some 10s through other AI grading companies, and then you can do like a nice little experience. If you get a couple 10s from other AI graded companies, you can go ahead and crack those and grade them with tag whenever the options are more available. Especially, I think Degree is doing, like, for the first time that you're submitting cards, you can do 5 cards for $50. That's 10 cards per slab. That's a fantastic deal. So maybe this is a good time to maybe pre-grade some of your cards, and you're not sure, maybe grade through Degree. Their presentation looks a little different, right? But it's an option. Like, I'm just saying, like, just because tag is not doing any general submissions or any cheap submissions doesn't mean you have to go to the lesser of the two evils, right? It's still subjective grading, and if you're going to be grading cards, you want to know why your card got that grade. If you want to go with subjective grading, then go with Beckett. At least they kind of give you some information back of why your card got that grade, right? But honestly, I think moving forward, most people need to ditch subjective grading and move into objective grading, right? But he talks about, like, tag is on the move to do something big, and if they're a big company and they do succeed, then eventually we're gonna be seeing tag as the overall grader, like the number one grader, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it doesn't have to be a good thing either, or it might not be a good thing either, because there's going to be some positive and negatives from in the hobby if tag ever overtakes PSA. It could be after this expansion, it could be a couple more years down the road where tag really solidifies themselves as the number one grading service for the people. However, I don't think they're going to be able to do that if they eliminate the cheapest, more accessible grading for the public, because some people are not into the hobby to make most money. Some people will not grade a card at a $59 for a month, right? $59 for a month turnaround. That is PSA bullshit. And if I'm being honest, and the only way that's beneficial is if you're trying to flip it, but that's still 30 business days, which is going to be a month and a half on real time. So $59 for a card so you can get it back in a month and a half. I'm like, transparency is transparency. That's some effing bullshit. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's bad. So we exchanged that, and at the end of the conversation, we kind of came down to one of the best sayings that ever came out in kind of movies. Hold on, in a movie or overall, but like if tag really becomes the number one and they control the market, then eventually, I'm not gonna lie, we're probably gonna be sitting here talking to each other that maybe tag doesn't belong being number one because there will be scandals. There's gonna be issues, right? But we talked about like the saying from Harvey Dent from the Batman trilogy by Christopher Nolan, where they say either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that's kind of what PSA did. For a while, PSA was the hero, and they done this. They done their expansions. They're done their businesses practices where now they're the villains. There's a good possibility that Tag is gonna end up doing that. Now, that was a pretty good comment. I really appreciated that comment. But this is the comment that got me the most shook, right? And this is going to be by Scoofney. I mean, like, I guess a Scooby-Doo Fernie kind of person. I'm not entirely sure. Sorry if I messed up your name, but it's your fault. My bad, your fault for having that freaking name. He commented, I think this was honestly the mostly marketing by Tag to make an announcement that, whoa, way too many submissions, while it's kind of weeding out the lower end cards being submitted. That way there's less low end slabs kicking around. All while now they're going to be making a lot more per card submitting during that time. And look, that kind of we talked about. You're going to be waiting a month and a half whenever you submit a card for $60. That's kind of ridiculous, and that's going to be just $60 for the grading fee, and that is not for the shipping there and the shipping back, because those are two different shipping fees you need to pay, right? Let me put my tinfoil hat, because I do believe this is like a tinfoil kind of thing. There's a good possibility that this is strictly just a marketing play by Tag. And if you don't believe me, we've seen other companies, every other successful company kind of do things like this. I mean, do you guys ever remember that whenever we used to get like iPhones, we used to get the headphones and the charging box together? Now, they went ahead and started taking things away, and they were saying like, we're doing it because of the was that the nature shit? What do they call it? The environment. There we go. Sorry. They're like, yeah, we're doing it because we're trying to be more environmental friendly. We're trying to make smaller boxes, more condensed packaging, so that way we're taking less resources from the environment. Challenge flag. That's some bullshit. The real reason why they did that is because most of their phones are made overseas in China and they get transported in cargo boxes. The smaller boxes means you can package more boxes in a cargo ship, increasing your profit margins, and giving less product to the consumers. Kind of sounds a little bit what Tag is doing. And this is where I think Tag, look, I really do hope that I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong. And that's why I'm wearing this tinfoil hat, right? My conspiracy theory hat. But this move I do see being more hurtful than beneficial. We do advertise, we do tag, we do celebrate whenever a high-end tag slab sells more than a PSA slab, right? However, people that grade with tag, some people just want to go ahead and grade for their PC. They're trying to maximize the value of their cards. Unfortunately, that's the honest truth though. Take Ripping Robert. He pulled the Mega Gengar from Ascended Heroes. And the first thing that he did whenever he pulled it, right, he got it, and then he was so happy but so mad at the same time because he finally got the chase card that he wanted, but the centering was chopped. Right? So whenever he was talking to us about it, he's like, I'm mad that I'm not going to be able to get the max value of my card. Right? And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, some collectors just want binder copies. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And you got your chase card for a fraction of the price. In retrospect, whenever we start doing the math of the resale product, if he was to hold that product and sell it for a resale, he probably could have bought that card, for less money that he actually ripped. But that's the way that he enjoys the hobby. He's a degenerate. He loves the gamble aspect. He loves the luck. And a lot of people, probably you do too, right? So whenever you pull a chase card from the set, right, your chase card, it doesn't have to be a gradable copy. You can still go ahead and grade the copy, even though it's going to be a 9 for sure. And there's nothing that's going to be able to change that unless you maybe send it to CGC. And with their lenient ass centering, you can still probably get a CGC 10. It's not going to be a pristine 10, but maybe they'll give you a CGC 10 because maybe CGC is like, oh, hell yeah, people are still grading their chase cards with us. No, we're grading with you because you're literally the bottom of the barrel. You're the cheapest entry to barrier. Now that tag is doing $59 per card, and PSA does their prices plus their upcharge on chase cards, right? Honestly, that's a big reason why a lot of people grade with CGC, right? The lower barrier to entry and the price. And this is where I'm getting at. I personally believe deep down in my conspiracy theory core that them eliminating the regular and the standard plus the bulk is really gonna hurt their reputation, because even though they're trying to adhere by their turnaround times, they're charging us more for getting our cards back later, but then you're taking away the most accessible and cheaper grading, the options that we have for collectors, not resellers, not whatnot resellers, not vendors, not shops, but for collectors. That's one of the things that I really did, I gotta stand by what I said, that I really did love about tag right now. Not so much because it's completely blocked me out of grading. Unfortunately, there's not a card in my collection where I feel comfortable paying $60 to get graded and get it back in a month and a half. I like bigger submissions. I do. I like saving money so I can do a 20 to 30 card submissions. And literally, I've been priced out. Why? Because I'm not trying to send nothing but chase cards. I'm not trying to send high-end cards. I'm trying to send cards that I really like for my PC. Cards that I think could make excellent gifts for my friends, for their birthdays, for their holidays. Cards that I can go ahead and give to other collectors for whatever reason. I've been priced out from that. I can't do that anymore, right? I can't grade Japanese cards and admire them for their better quality. I can't do that. I can't just grade whatever English copy, whether if it's a promo or not, that might be a limited card. I can't do that anymore. I can grade my favorite cards, which are going to be the Cosmo Hollow Swirls from the blisters. Those promotional cards that even right now during the Mega Evolution era, they're kind of cheap, right? Not only are they cheap, but, they're lazy. Speaking facts, they're lazy, right? I can't even do that because, yes, I want to add them to my collection, but for $60 for a Cosmo Hollow Swirl card that I just want to add for my PC, I'm not looking for a 10, I'm looking for a 9, right? I can't justify that. Just like I can't justify opening up an Ascended Hero pack for $15 or $20, which is insane, right? The secondary market is crazy, right? But whenever we're talking about a PC, yes, it's going to be for my personal collection. But for how long? People change, right? People change. Your taste changes. The person that you are now, and I'm looking most of my analytics every single day just because my autism likes numbers like that, hence why I go with tag, because I like numbers. My autism loves that kind of shit. My autism loves data, right? I see that most of my viewers are in the mid 20s to early 40s, right? That's the number one area of people that I have looking into my videos. And I'm thinking at this point, most of my viewers, they can't justify doing that. For PC, the person that you are now compared to the person that you were whenever you graduated high school and you told yourself, yeah, I'm gonna wear black and I'm gonna listen to My Chemical Romance and Census Fail and System of the Down. However, System of the Down has aged fantastically with the current political climate. You listen to System of the Down and you'll be like, holy shit. I shouldn't be saying that, but holy snap. It's true, right? But your music, your changes. Like I grew up listening to that kind of music, and now all I listen to is gonna be your favorite Super Bowl halftime performer, Bad Bunny. I listen to a lot of reggaeton. I really do. Kills it, right? It's what gets me going, delivering mail and arguing with customers day by day on the hot summer days. I love arguing with people. Plus, sometimes whenever I'm delivering to nice neighborhoods, I put music like that. I put like Bad Bunny music on white neighborhoods, and oh my God, they don't talk to me. They leave me alone. Sometimes they give me drinks, but They don't come here asking me for their mail. Half the time I feel like they're calling like, "Hello, ICE. I think the United States Postal Service is hiring illegal Mexicans." Like, how can you tell there? Because he's listening to Bad Bunny and we're in America. How dare he listen to Spanish music? It's shit like that, So I like listening to Bad Bunny in white neighborhoods because it keeps them away from me 100%, right? But going back to the topic that I was saying, it's like people change. Your tastes change. So paying $60 now for a card, regardless of the grade, to add to your personal collection, it's not smart. It's not financially smart. You might eventually try to get rid of it, but if it's a modern nines really don't have that much weight, right? They don't have that much value. Maybe you shouldn't care about value, but if you want to stay in this hobby, you just can't be pissing money away. You have to be smart with your money. You have to be smart with your choices, with your trades, with your collection, right? So I personally can't spend $60 to go ahead and grade Cosmo Holo cards. And trust me when I tell you this, I have certain Cosmo Holo cards that I can't wait to grade just because I think they look amazing. Cosmo Holo cards are by far some of the better cards that we've gotten and we're going to continue to get in the Pokemon hobby just because of what they are. Yeah, I already told you. Well, you guys already showed you guys that I went ahead and graded an Arcanine that one of my boys gave to me. But there's other cards that I want to go ahead and grade for my collection. Like this Totodile that has a swirl. I like Totodile. I like Feraligatr. I really like Totodile. Look, check this shit out. Totodile Cosmo Holo Swirl with a swirl. Totodile workout shorts, and these shorts are badass. Yes, I don't work out as much, but I do like Totodile, and I'm not afraid to use that. So, back to the conspiracy theory. There's a good chance that this could be a marketing move. They're trying to make themselves look like more of the premier grading. Like, we're giving you AI accurate results. We're giving you the information of why your cards got that grade. And now we're charging your premium to do this. You don't think that's successful? Look, for a moment of time in the fitness decade, which I used to partake in it, CrossFit was the main, or was like the hot topic, or was the hot trend. Let's call it a trend, because CrossFit is not really a trendy as much as before. But if you grew up doing exercises, going to gyms, maybe someone invited you to a CrossFit gym, you went to do a CrossFit workout, or maybe you took CrossFit, you partook in the CrossFit cult. I know I did. I was an instructor, I was a head coach, and a part-time business owner for a while. And look, I kind of saw the writing on the wall, hence why I left CrossFit, why I left personal training, and decided to go with a more secure job where I'm no longer doing that hustle grind, being an entrepreneur, and go with a job that's going to give me a retirement, it's going to give me a pension, and it's going to go ahead and take care of my family, right? But whenever I was younger, and I was a coach for CrossFit gyms are expensive. And I think CrossFit ended up killing themselves because most standard gym memberships, depending on the area, right? Most of them start around $150 to $180 on the cheap end on most around your cities. And that's going to give you access to only 3 classes per week, right? That's insane. They were charging that, people were paying that, but it's because they were attracting a certain clientele. Now, you doing that because I got certified. I did it, and like I followed it religiously because my spectrum of ADHD. Whenever I do something, I'm passionate about it. I dive in 100%, right? And whenever I was doing that, like you do realize you kind of have to be smart about it. You don't want to be the cheapest CrossFit gym because then you have issues with that. You don't want to be the most expensive gym following the same trend of everyone else because eventually you end up pricing out certain people for a hobby, for the trend, for example, of CrossFit. The reason why it started down is because they went ahead and priced out the younger demographic. The younger demographic that they needed to survive was going to be high school students, college students, and at people who were taking professional or like sports training at a professional level, and this was going to be their outlet. But they pretty much went ahead and priced them out. Look, like I said, I live in El Paso, and whenever I had my CrossFit gym and my classes, I'm gonna brag a little bit, but I had the bigger classes in my facility, Whether if I was the coach in the mornings, I can guarantee you that my morning classes had more clients than my afternoon classes. Due to my morning classes, I was able to learn Español otra vez, because I was talking to the stay-at-home moms, las señoras, the ones who had those husbands in blue-collar jobs, owning businesses that would get everything paid up. So here I have all these aunties coming in, where their hair done, their nail done, their long nails done, their BBLs, their mommy makeovers. Those were my main clientele in the morning. Those were also the best personal trainer or personal training clients that I could have. You can make a lot of money on that. And in the morning, that's what I was getting, right? In the afternoon, it was completely different because in the afternoon is typically the people who went after school, after work. And if you don't have a good profession in the afternoon, for the most part, the common trend that we saw in our gyms, that it was going to be military members that were nearby the base. It was going to be people with good professions like nursing, teaching, and then law enforcement. They love that kind of stuff. And you're like, wait a minute, teaching is not a good profession. They don't get paid for shit. You're kind of right. But in certain areas, like here in El Paso, if you're a teacher, you can live pretty comfortably if you're not fucking dumb, right? Damn it, I'm gonna get demonetized for cursing. Like I've not monetized yet. Yeah, right. But those were like the most people that would show up to the gym in the afternoon, and they priced them out. They were getting priced out. There was no new blood coming into the morning classes unless they were running sales. But then that was the issue. If you're running sales, some people are signing up on sales and they're talking to other members. It's like, oh, you're going to the same amount of classes, same amount of hours, you're getting the same amount of attention, yet you're paying 30% of the price that I am. It caused issues, right? So my thing is, there's a good possibility that Tag is going to be pricing out the most important people they need to be winning over, which are going to be your collectors, not your whatnot graders, rip and shippers, not your vendors, not your car shops, but the people that are going to stay with you. They're still going to be grading with you. Once the hobby is over, or once the bubble bursts, right? If everything comes crashing down, who is going to be grading with you? Are the failed shops and vendors going to be grading with you with Tag? Probably not, right? Because what's the point? The hobby is dead, right? Or it's sleeping, right? Some of these shops are going to close down. Some of these vendors are going to go back to their 9-to-5 jobs, and some of these whatnot rip and shippers, they're probably going to end up going back to their to living a normal life. So if the market and the bubble crashes, these Pokemon careers are not going to be a viable option. They're not going to be grading with Tag. So the people they need to be desperately winning over are going to be your collectors, the ones who are grading cards for their PC. And regardless, if the hobby crashes, if the bubble bursts, and then all of a sudden Pokemon is not valued anything, they went ahead and graded with Tag because Tag gave them the results back, the data back, and they didn't charge them an upcharge. Then now maybe it wouldn't even apply with PSA, right? Like with PSA, that upcharge is ridiculous. We already talked about it. You get a card, it's higher value, it gets upcharged, but if that card's value crashes, they don't give you that money back. So you people keep talking about like the upcharge is like the standard thing. The upcharge is fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. It insurance maybe from like transit, but it doesn't give you any insurances whenever it's in your personal collection or in their vault, right? So back to the topic. Yeah, I think Tag is kind of pricing out their most important clientele over. Now, it could be beneficial because now you're kind of advertising to the community. Look, we have certain graders, we have certain spots, we have certain limitations. So if you want to grade with us, you have to pay a premium. That marketing strategy can work. It worked in CrossFit gyms during the pandemic, during COVID. Some of these gyms had to be restricted to only maybe 10 people in their facility working out at the same time. And people made sure that they were signing up classes. Maybe you guys, in my facility, we were just operating off a 5 o'clock in the morning class and an 8 o'clock class in the morning. Because of this strategy, and because, I was a fantastic, excellent coach, we had the 5, we had the 6, we had a 7 o'clock class, we had an 8 o'clock class, and occasionally a 10 o'clock class. That is 5 hours in a facility just because we were putting limited stops. I got more money because I was teaching more classes, doing more personal training on the side and everything, right? So there is a target audience with that marketing strategy, right? But look at where CrossFit is at now. CrossFit is not really CrossFit. It's not as popular anymore. One of their more luxurious brands, which was like Nobles, now that Tom Brady has partner ownership, is just like a regular trendy athletic clothing brand by Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady really does have his hands on everything, right? But that brand Noble is nowhere nearly as popular or hyped up as it was during the peak of the CrossFit era. I'm saying that, right? And now CrossFit is not really CrossFit, and now it's this weird thing where it's high rocks, where it's now exercise with working on strength without the intensity. It's not the same. Like, I'm sorry, but you're not working on gymnastics. You're not working. Sorry, this is not a bash CrossFit video. This is kind of like a bash Tag video for their business decisions. Look, I guess to wrap this up, because damn, this really just pissed me off about CrossFit, right? But there's a meme that is like, you will know a CrossFitter when you meet one because he will tell you that he's a CrossFitter. And God dang it, I hate how accurate that meme is, right? I really do. It's fucking hilarious. But look, now that Tag is go ahead and eliminating their standard, their regular, and their bulk grading options, they're trying to spin it off that this is better for the community because we're trying to deliver on a product for you, right? That is what they're trying to tell you, and we're kind of supposed to believe it because this is the transparent grading company, right? That is their niche. And the other side, behind the scenes, right? Maybe they're using this, to go ahead and maybe expand a little bit more, but maybe they're using this to go ahead and do a lot of work in the back that they wouldn't be able to do while they're still grading with their current demand, right? Because they did mention that they're trying to open up submission partnerships across the world, so maybe they're trying to do that. They said that they were going to go ahead and redo the whole entire dig system. I think a lot of people are going to notice the dig reports a lot. It's not going to be crashing nearly as much if everyone's using it, right? If there's a little pause to it and they can go ahead and redo the whole entire dig system, like consider it like a software patch, an update, a Tag update. It is a Tag grade. It is an AI grading company after all. So maybe they're trying to do that too. So not only are they trying to update their dig report, not only are they trying to maybe increase the quality of their slabs, maybe they're trying to redesign a couple things, right? Or maybe they're having a lot more issues with their technology as prices keep going up, and maybe now their original predictions of like how much money it's going to cost to go ahead and build a grading submission machine, and maybe I think it's more delayed due to just political climates. There could be a lot of different factors, right? But like, ask yourself, you got to ask yourself this: am I willing to spend $60 for a card, Shinji Kondo baby, for a card for my PC that I might not love down the road? And does Tag really care about me as a grader, or do they really care about what I have to offer them the most? Money. Anyways, I hope you guys had a fantastic day, and I'll guys catch you next time. Peace.